Hello and welcome to this weekend special interview on the Think Tank's Wellcast. This is Karan Dev bringing you the leading voices in politics in India. I'm delighted to be joined by Sumalatha Ambareesh today, who is a real icon. She has captured the public imagination for decades on end, initially as a veteran actor, and has starred in over 220 films in 5 languages. To be more specific, the languages are Kannada, Tamil, Hindi, Telugu, and Malayalam. She's won several accolades for her outstanding performances in each of these, and I wish I could go into greater detail, but suffice to say, her film career has been nothing short of legendary. She is now embarked on her second journey in public life as a member of parliament from Mandya, which is a part of the South Indian state of Karnataka. She ran a remarkable campaign in the year 2019 amidst a toughly contested general election in the state of Karnataka, as well as India more broadly. Sumalatha ji, it's wonderful to have you join us here on Swell. I hope you've been keeping safe amidst the rising COVID cases, and I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts on the following questions. Sumalatha ji, I suppose the first and most important question is, given your illustrious career, how has the transition been for you personally from being an actor to now being a full-time politician? You have a very distinct position in Parliament, especially given that you're an independent MP and not a part of any of the main political parties in India. And most recently, you've been vocal about your concerns with regard to illegal mining of forest land in your constituency. Sumalatha ji, is being an independent MP an advantage or disadvantage in terms of getting your voice out there in the framing of policies? A significant portion of your constituency, Mandya, comprises members of the farming community. What have been some of the reactions of these people on the ground with regard to the farm laws which were recently passed in Parliament? Sumalatha ji, as we're all well aware, the BJP is currently in power in the centre as well as in the state of Karnataka. I was wondering how this has translated into economic development in the state. What is your reading of the performance of the current state government? And finally, I want to wrap this up by asking you, what are some of your goals in terms of development which you hope to achieve for your constituency? And with that, I'm very excited to listen to your thoughts on all of these crucial issues. I will conclude this conversation at the end, but I'm looking forward to listening to your replies to each of these, Sumalatha ji. Thank you so much for your time.
Well, I think I would not use the word enjoy as in the circumstances I entered politics. Though I hate the connotations of the word politics or a politician even now, I don't think I look at myself, as what is broadly considered a politician. I think it was a force of circumstances in which I found myself in at that particular time when I was going through a lot. I had just lost my husband, and I don't know, these hands reached out to me from Mandya and made me their own. That's how I see it. I had no other option but to respond and be for them, even though it was the toughest period of my time. Well, in movies I entered at a very young age of 15, and I learnt a lot. I grew in movies. I grew up in movies. Because I didn't know any other world, and yes, eventually it was something I came to love. But I don't say that every moment would be could be termed as something I enjoyed. But yes, it had its ups and downs. But still, I love movies even today because it's given me everything that I have today, everything that I am today. And also, I think politics is a different ball game altogether. I do enjoy, certain parts of it, but not the politicking part of it. I think That's how I would describe it. I didn't choose to be in politics. I think politics chose me. Well, there are certain advantages, like I don't need to consult or consider anything if I need to and I want to raise my voice regarding any issue at all, any issue. I need not fear, any reprimands, or I need not. I just hear the voice of my people and try to represent them, the best way I can. So yes, that's a big advantage. And some of the other MPs who belong to parties do come and tell me that this unique position is. Giving me this benefit, which they at times cannot avail of. They cannot speak up so freely because they are bound by the party diktats and lines, and they obviously have to follow that. Yes, I think that way, yes, it's an advantage being an independent MP. But having said that, it's hugely challenging because I don't have party bearers. I don't have people in every talukas who work solely for me, carry out my work, look into local work. So it becomes a huge task. So I have to employ a number of people to meet these challenges, who can be available to people 24/7, even when I'm not able to, or when I'm in Delhi for the sessions. I always have people in my office attending to people, listening to their concerns, and putting them across to me. And so it requires quite a lot of coordination and effort and expense also, mind you. I don't think my office runs on the expense of what I get paid as an MP, which is a pittance. I have to pay out of my own pocket to several of my staff, and I mean, that is the least of the problems probably. But I'm saying being an independent does have its, I would not call it disadvantage, I would call it challenging. Well, I think surprisingly, you would be surprised to find out that most of the farmers I spoke to were not even aware of what these farm laws were about. They knew that there are farmers protesting, but by and large it was not in Mandya as such, in other parts of the country. But yes, there were certain issues which I had come across when I was speaking to them, which they had concerns about. But I think this issue, this is my opinion and mine alone, has been also politicized, and farmers have been misled to a certain extent. Of course, there's always room for improvising, there's always room for correction. And there seem to be certain issues and certain points in this particular law which may be of concern to the farmers regarding the future. But I would say most of them do feel that it kind of opens up the markets for them, and they are okay with that. They are treating it cautiously, but they're not opposing it either, as far as my knowledge goes. And as far as the real farmers who I have interacted with do not seem to be having the kind of problems that we seem to be seeing in the media, or on the TV channels or whatever. I would say they're approaching it cautiously. They have taken it in good faith, as far as I can see. And they have, in Karnataka we have problems, the farmers have been facing different kinds of problems over the year, be it water, irrigation, prices for their fair prices, pricing for their crops and produce. And in my district of Mandya, it's sugar cane, so we have different problems, different issues. But as far as this law goes, I do hope sincerely that the farmers are benefiting this, and again there is no other loophole that can snatch this away, this part of the benefit, and do harm to the farmers' welfare. I do hope that sincerely. But as far as I can see, to my layman's eye, it seems to be of the farmers' benefit. Well, as far as Karnataka goes, since we have Bangalore, which is the IT capital, regardless, I think, of any party, the governments or a state will do well financially. But you have to factor in the corona, matter, which has been what do you say, blasting us literally from the past 1 year plus. And I don't think it's really a fair time to evaluate, because right from the time this government has come into power, literally 4 months into that, we've had corona. And it's the same with me also. I mean, I'm in this June, I finish my second year as a member of parliament. But 1 year and 4 months out of that have only gone, in corona. And there's only that much we can do when, MP lads are not available for 2 years, because the government, the central government had suspended it for 2 years after this corona happened. So we are running from pillar to post to raise funds, get funds from different organizations, different departments in the government, where we have to tackle and convince and persuade them to come up with some money for the districts. So it's a huge challenge for everybody, every industry, every department. So I think maybe we should ask these questions after all this horror and nightmare is over. I think, when you're saying visions and goals, I didn't set out with anything in mind, as you very well know, the circumstances, as I had explained earlier also, in which I came in. So I had to formulate and think on my toes, like literally hit the track running, you could say. Yes, I think what I had in mind was what Ambereesh had, envisioned. I think it was his vision, his dream, in fact, I would say. There were several things which he had in mind that he wanted to do in Mandya, for Mandya. But I would say I want to see good road connectivity. I've approached Nitin Gadkari ji regarding this several times to improve the road connectivity. I think any kind of development starts from there. Basically, you need to be connected, and Mandya is basically a farming district, so you cannot expect the kind of development that you would expect in any other district like Bangalore or Mysore, for that matter. We don't have it's 90%, 99% rural area. So what one would want is, I think, or I would say it is my biggest dream, is to bring out the tourism spots in Mandya, make it a tourist highlight like Mysore is, because there are several places, very, very old heritage landmark places in Srirangpatna, Pandavpura, Madur, and Nagmangla. Hundreds of years old, thousands of years old monuments and structures lay just unidentified, unmarked, and unappreciated. So I think if the government decides to heed my plea, which I have done over and over again, but of course, in view of Corona, I can't really blame anybody. Then definitely improving Mandya's roads and putting it on the map of India as a tourist spot would be my dream. We have KRS already, we have Brindavan Gardens. Mysore Maharaja's dynasty has played a large part in developing Mandya, creating the district of Mandya. So there are several things which need to be highlighted and displayed and told to the world, as I would want to. That would be my goal ultimately, to put Mandya on the map. People should know, when you say Mandya, it should be as famous as Mysore, if not Bangalore. And But to reach anywhere near there and to achieve this, the first steps would be improving, developing, and meeting the basic requirements of people. So we have a long way to go. I'm not saying that one person or one MP, whoever it might be or however powerful, can have the power or strength to pull that off. No, it has to be a combined effort and a political will of many people. But I do hope that I can contribute my bit to something good in Mandya for the benefit of people. I've been trying to reopen the defunct sugar factories, and we managed to do that in Pandavpura, and I've been fighting to get that done from the time I assumed office. I'm fighting to get my sugar factory in Mandya open, which has been closed down from ages. So that's a fight which I'm doing now. And once this, I think we overcome this challenge of Corona, I do hope things look up and I can realize a few of my dreams for Mandya. I think that's it. Thank you all. Bye.
Sumalatha ji, you've been very patient and generous with your time this evening, and you've given us all a very good idea of your vision for Mandya, and I'm sure that it's going to be as, if not more famous than Mysore in the next few years, as you said. And I think it's also clear that you don't conform to the conventional definition of what a politician is, as you initially said. And despite the unfortunate circumstances with which you entered the political system, I think the great legacy of your husband Ambareesh ji lives on in the hearts of the people of Mandya and Karnataka. And it's remarkable how you're implementing his vision in your constituency. Additionally, also given all the constraints you faced, you've managed to stand by your people. And I want to thank you again for all that you're doing and also coming on to Swell. And I hope we get the chance to interview you very soon. Thank you again.